have a look at the first type, which is the single-breasted suit. So as you look at the picture, I'm just going to run you through what all comes into a single-breasted suit. If you notice in the picture, the gentleman is wearing a nice crisp white shirt. The other thing is, you will find that at his ends of his shirt, he is wearing what we talked about earlier, cufflinks. And you will also see that he's wearing a lovely tie, a conservative tie. Remember, we said one color ties, striped ties, all very conservative. Now you will find that in this single-breasted suit, the buttons are placed in the middle. The buttons come together in the middle of the person. Now, another thing that you will find is sometimes this single-breasted suit will have 3 buttons, or depending upon the height of the person, it could also have 2 buttons. Now you will be asking me, so what is the single-breasted suit for? Why should we wear it? Well, sometimes when men are slightly small built, when men are slightly petite, and when they are slightly slim, they want to give people a lovely impression that I'm big, I'm strong, and I'm almost like a V shape. So a lot of times people are trying to build up a 6-pack and an 8-pack. Well, here's your chance. You want to look like you have a 6-pack. You want to look like you're very strong. The single-breasted suit is a fantastic suit, because what it does is it gives you that V shape. It will give you padded shoulders, and it will taper down to your waist where the button comes in the center, and it will give you a very good fit. So this is why we say single-breasted suits are better for people who are slightly on the slim side, slightly on the thin side. Now moving on to the next type of suit, and that is what we call a double-breasted suit. And you will find, again, have a look at the picture, and you will see from the picture that the gentleman has a double-breasted suit on where the buttons come to the side. Well, they overlap and they come to the side. Now, again, you will find that he's wearing a white shirt to go along with it, very formal shirt. And you will also see something a little different, because he's not wearing a tie like you saw in the previous picture, but he's wearing what we call a bow tie. Now you would have noticed some waiters wearing it, some people in restaurants, some people in hotels wearing it. And this is a wonderful thing that we place at the top next to the collar. And the great thing about it is that it can be clipped on. So you're not spending half an hour trying to put the tie on, but you're just going to clip it, which takes all of 2 seconds. Right, so now you'll be wondering, who should wear a double-breasted suit? Now these suits are very nice because they slim a person down. They make them look very slim. They make them look very trim. So if you are slightly bulky, if you are slightly heavy, if you are slightly on the overweight side, and you would like people to get an impression of you that you're slim and lean and you're well built, then a good suit to wear is what we call the double-breasted suit. So now we're moving on to the next type of suit, which we call the 3-piece suit. Now in this type of suit, we have the jacket, we have the trouser, and there is a 3rd piece, which is a single sleeveless vest, which is worn inside the jacket, and it is the same fabric as the fabric of the jacket as well as the pant. So you have 3 pieces. One is the jacket, one is the vest, and one is the pant. Now you'll be wondering, why and where do I wear this type of suit? And this is commonly worn in colder countries, where really this eliminates the need or the use of a sweater. It would not really make much sense to wear a suit and a sweater. So for that purpose, you would wear this type of suit, and very often the suit is made out of wool, which keeps you very, very warm, and you don't need to wear a sweater along with it. Next, we move on to a tuxedo. Now you would have heard the movie called Tuxedo, where Jackie Chan acted in it. Well, that's the same thing. Tuxedo is a type of suit, and it's also called tails. It is the only international suit wherein people from different parts of the world, and very, very commonly used in foreign countries, wear what is called the tuxedo. Now you'll be wondering, how did it get the name tails? And that is because at the back of the suit, you have two strips of fabric coming down, which actually looks like a tail, almost like a mermaid's tail, or just a tail. So that is how it gets its name, the tails. And it is worn in very, very formal occasions in Western countries. Normally it is also worn along with a bow tie, sometimes even a hat, and if it's a really formal function, sometimes even gloves. So if you're going to attend the president's ball, you will find that everybody is wearing a tuxedo. In India, we don't wear tuxedos so much. In fact, sometimes we just about wear a suit. So, well, it's more of an international suit, but it's nice to know, because once maybe you travel abroad, you will have to know what a tuxedo is. The other thing is, or the nice thing is, that tuxedos actually in foreign countries, they can be rented. You can rent a tuxedo for one night. You don't have to buy it. So that's the wonderful thing about actually going and living abroad, because you don't actually have to buy a suit. You can actually just hire it or rent it out for one night. Okay, next one is the blazer. Now we did talk a little bit about this, because this is the only jacket which is not in the same fabric as the pant. And if you will look at the picture, you will notice that this gentleman has a black blazer on, but he's got a cream pant on. And that's the beauty about a blazer. You don't have to actually wear it with the same fabric. You can mix and match it. And that brings me to the next point, which is, this is the suit that people use a lot when they travel. Remember, you're going to Bombay for 3 meetings. You don't want to really carry 3 suits. So you will carry one blazer, and you will carry 3 different types of pants, and you will mix and match them, and it'll look like you wore 3 different suits on 3 different occasions. The other thing is, if you have a look at the picture, you will find out that the one thing that is different from a blazer and a suit is the buttons. Buttons are very detailed, they're very fancy, and that's the only difference in the look when you're looking at a suit and when you're looking at a blazer. The next one is the safari suit, and very often people refer to it as the Asian suit. And this safari suit is worn by a lot of bank managers. A lot of people in India wear safari suits. In Asia, Malaysia, as well as in Singapore, in Hong Kong, it's very, very common. And the wonderful part about this suit is that it is very useful in our hotter climates. The reason is, in a safari suit, you don't have to wear the inner shirt. You could if you want to, but you don't have to. And the other thing about a safari suit is that it is the only half-length or half-sleeved jacket. It's not full sleeves like the other suits that we talked about, but it's half sleeves. So this in itself makes it much cooler. And that is why it is used very, very often in India, in Asia, and in other parts of the East. The last type of suit, and I think all of you would have seen something like this when we have gone for our friends' functions, when we have gone for our friends' weddings, and that is the Indian suit, which is also called the Sherwani. Sherwani is an Indian suit, but it is also a formal suit. So a lot of people ask, can I wear a Sherwani when I go for a formal function? Well, the answer for that is yes, you can wear one, but beware, because you will stand out from the others. If everybody is wearing the traditional suit and you're the only one wearing the Sherwani, you will look slightly different from everyone else. If you're comfortable with that, that's fine. But if you want to move in with the crowd, you want to be like the others in the crowd, then I would suggest that you don't use the Sherwani. So it can be used for formal functions. It has to be used with appropriate Indian footwear. You can't wear leather laced up shoes with a Sherwani. So you would have to wear something more Indian when you're wearing a Sherwani suit. And again, this type of suit doesn't have a tie or it doesn't have an inner vest. So of course, you're most welcome to wear a Sherwani, but choose the occasion very wisely, because if you go for a meeting in a Sherwani, they will probably ask you, where's your bride? So be careful with that. All right, now we're going on to the next type of Indian dressing, which is the business casuals.